As part of Practical Thursday, I'd like to introduce an idea. How can we transform our streets to become open spaces? My name is Sarfaraz Momin. I'm the co-founder of StudioPOD. Mumbai as a city has been the financial capital of India for a very long period of time. We as a city have very little open space to offer to anyone who comes here. We are almost at the bottom of the list. We have 1.28 square meters of space per person. That's pretty low as per global standards if you compare to New York or London that have open spaces in 20s and 30s. We have our small houses, but we always had our street to go out, to play, to celebrate. And that has been really the driving spirit of Mumbai. It has been one of the most important elements. We have our Ganesh Chaturthi outside. We have our Dahi Handi that we have to go and be part of. We have the Garbas that happen on our streets. Our use of private transportation has been steadily increasing. What that means is that the average Mumbaikar who used to walk more, take the train, use the bus and walk to its final destination has now started to use two-wheelers and cars a lot more. What that does is it creates a conflict. The car and the bikes and the motorized transport is always at loggerheads with people walking and using the street. Now we have come at a point where we need to rethink this a little bit. We need to make sure if we want to keep Mumbai livable and even desirable for young talent to move in, we must think of our streets a little differently. One way to rethink is to reimagine its streets as a network of systems. It's a network of open spaces, it's a network of transportation, it's a network of habitats that could be linked to each other.
My name is Mahesh Vagdhare. I'm an urban designer and co-founder at StudioPOD. StudioPOD is basically a people-oriented design practice. We are an urban design practice which has been constantly working for the last 9 years in Mumbai and other cities in India to kind of bring about a change in the realm of urban design and planning. I want to talk about a very interesting project which we recently worked on, 1 Green Mile, Senamati Papat Marg. I would like to begin with the kind of efforts that went into it and the design principles that we thought about. Collaboration, a very key word in these kind of public projects. Reimagining the entire right-of-way and the public street itself. Inclusive and complete streets as an idea to be introduced in the streets of Mumbai. Eco-friendly designs that could actually look at a different way of envisaging landscape and streetscapes. Livability and legibility of streets when we look at these at this level. And one of the most important principles of programming for public space with people at the center. We have a minimum width of a footpath of 1.8 meters, which has come from standards. But when we actually relook at these streets, we have to see how the circulation happens. So when we were looking at the street, we ensured that we had like 3 lanes of traffic contiguously going in the northbound direction, so that we actually carve out space for the rest of the space which was available for public space. With the help of tactical urbanism, the idea was to actually test this entire solution with painting on ground, basic traffic cones, working with the traffic department, looking at the traffic management of the intersection. This really helped us to reorganize the entire street network for the whole 1 mile. The next step that we looked at was looking at the inclusiveness of what the street could have. Everybody of different modes using the street was very important. Also, inclusiveness from a perspective of kids, making a very child-friendly street. The fourth thing what we looked at was programming from a people perspective. It's about how do you experience a space when you're walking. You actually have places where you can just breathe around and have normally what we talk in Marathi, gappa goshti with your friends. We created bus stops which were open in design, flexible in a way that they were modular to adapt to different lengths. Under flyover, the space was all just vegetation which was growing there. We found it as a big opportunity to create something which was like an open space for the larger community. Everything was full with noise, pollution, cars honking, now to a place where kids are coming in easy to cross. They are happily playing around. The next important principle I want to talk about is legibility. Is the identity of what the street takes up. We engage the public art program where we had the entire narrative of the transformation of Lower Parel from the old mills to now the heart kind of commercial district of Mumbai. Wayfinding signage, a very key important part of how do you move around in the city, places where you can actually have signages, totems, all kind of added up to the larger kind of complete streets idea. What is the impact that this has created? It's huge. We actually see that this has really transformed the space. 1 kilometer of stretch out of 1 mile, we have added 2.3 acres of public realm on the sidewalks, footpaths, out of which 1/3 is purely landscape. We actually added 120 trees in a 1 kilometer of stretch. We added almost 2,000 square meters of new public space in the under flyover.
Hi, my name is Mansi Sahu and I'm the co-founder of StudioPOD. Just by correct design, by programming, today you will see that within that 1 kilometer, there's an exponential increase of children that come to visit and play in all the parks. They come to study in the Vachanalaya. We have jam sessions, we have dancing sessions, and it's become a space for people to come and gather. We are able to have 1/3 of the 9,000 square meters of space as landscaping. Imagine the number of birds that will come there, the number of new species and habitats that will grow along the street. Now take this vision of 1 kilometer and multiply that into the existing streets of Mumbai, that's 2,000 kilometers. Imagine the impact that when you multiply those numbers for a city like Mumbai that you can do. Imagine what we can do if we now include the 300 kilometers of metro network that is coming into the existing street networks of 2,000 kilometers. So what this street represents for us, not just as a lifestyle, but also something that can become a space which we use every day and enjoy using. We would like to create a master plan, something that's at par with the development plan, that takes care of all the networks, connects all the existing open spaces, all the streets. That's the idea, that's the vision, and that's something we truly believe Mumbai can achieve.